Hello, everybody. I hope everything's going well for you. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to try something a little different. We're going to start to work towards a new project I'd like to do, something we're going to try to do at home. We're going to start with a CAD program. CAD is computer aided design, and we're going to work to develop a balloon powered vehicle. And what we'll do is we're going to work with the program. We're going to design the object on the program, and then uh, we'll 3D print it. Now, the program we're going to work with is called TinkerCAD. TinkerCAD is made by Autodesk, which is the same company that makes the program we're going to eventually use in class called Inventor. Um, it's a similar concept, but a much simpler idea. The program is not something you have to already have on a home computer or download an app for your Chromebooks. It's a web-based program, and all you're going to have to do is click on it and just watch the video and try to follow along as we go. Now, when you open up today's class assignment, what you're going to see is this. I kind of put it in three things. The first thing we want to do is we want to watch the Join TinkerCAD YouTube video. I'm making it right now, so the link's not below here, but you'll see a link for that before we start to get into the actual application. Then, when we get done watching the video, go to your Gmail for your nickname. All right. This is a specific nickname that I sent you so you can join the TinkerCAD classroom that you're going to be in. This is something that's been assigned to you, and what it basically is your first name and the initial of your last name, followed by like a 4-digit number that's specific to you. So make sure you go to your school Gmail account to get that. Then once you have that, you're going to go down and you're going to click on this link right here, Join Class TinkerCAD. And when you do, it's going to bring you to this site. Now with this, you'll see it says, welcome to test classroom. Yours will be your period number classroom. This is just my one I'm working through for now. Then you see where it says type your nickname. This is where you're going to go, and you're going to type in the nickname that you had from your school Gmail account. Mine's just this. Everything's in lowercase. Once I type that in, I'm just going to click, that's me. And it's going to bring me into TinkerCAD. Now, with TinkerCAD, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new design. So I want to go up here and click on Create New Design. And this is just going to be something really easy to get us used to the program, just to make sure that you got signed in and you kind of understand everything. When you come in, first thing we want to do is go up here, and there's always some weird name they give every file. It does auto save, so I guess that just makes it so each file you work on is separate. We want to change that though. So what I want you to do is just go up and click on it, and it opens up. We can backspace that off, then type in your name, and then just block. Nice and simple, doesn't have to be anything fancy. From there, let's start to talk about some things in the program. When we look at this, I want to show you, first off, we can change the view, and there's two ways we can do that. If we right click on the mouse and we hold the button down, we can drag this around in different areas in different ways. Now, if you look at the top left of the screen, you're going to see a little cube that says top, front, right, left, all those sorts of things on it. That also allows us to change the view. If I go up the top, it's going to change it so it looks straight down. If I go to one of these arrows, it's going to change it so it's looking at it from the front view or the right side view. All right. If we go up to the top corner, it's going to change the view once again. We can go here. Once again, it changes the view. So those are the two ways. We can use the cube, or we can just right click and hold to change it at different angles. Now, the first thing we're going to actually do and change in this is down here on the corner where it says Edit Grid. Right now it's in millimeters, It's in the metric system. We're going to click on that, and it's going to bring up some things we can change. The first thing is our units. We're going to change to inches. Then we're going to go down here, and I'd like you to change the width to 10, change the length to 10, and then go to Update Grid. And what you'll see is the grid has changed size. It's now a little bit bigger than it was before, and now everything goes off inches. Before it said millimeters here, right now we have inches. Now, we're just going to do a quick little block today. It shouldn't be too complicated to show you some of the other features. All right, we'll kind of get with this a little bit more aggressively once everyone feels a little more comfortable with it. So we have our basic shapes over here on the side. And if we scroll down, we can see there's all sorts of shapes that we can build things out of. All right, you can go through and create all sorts of different things using these shapes. And these are the basic shapes we have. We're going to start off with this block. We're just going to take this block and drag it. And it opens up. We can go up here and change the color if we want. All right, there's all sorts of different colors we can choose from. We'll do a nice maroon color, or we could go over to a nice blue. Whatever you want to do, we'll just stay with the red for now. All right, so now that we have that done, I like to click off this little arrow up here, and it gets that part out of the way. You can see we have some little white squares around the corners. All right, these squares, when we go to them, we can click on them, and it's going to bring up some things we can change. This is one of the ways we can change the size of the block. I can click on this and drag it out and make it bigger that way, but sometimes that's a little bit harder to change. All right. The other way we can do it, and yes, we have a back arrow or a forward arrow, depending on what we want to do. What we're going to do is we're going to click on it, and we're going to start by typing in 4. So our length now is going to be 4. We're going to make our depth, 4. And then the last one is the height. We're also going to make this 4, so we create a cube. All right, once we get done, we can click off it. We can actually move this thing around a little bit. Now, what we want to do is we want to put a hole through that. All right, we're going to use this other part over here called cylinder. There's 2 ways we can get the cylinder so it'll cut a hole. One, it's nice and easy to drag out, and it sets it up as a hole. All right, we could still go back and change it to colors or whatever if we wanted. But we're going to start off with this part right here, this transparent gray. And we'll show you how this allows us to create a hole. We're going to start by changing the size once again. So go to one of the bottom corners, change the number to 2. We got an oval. Let's make it a circle. So we change that side to 2. And now we want it to go through the whole thing. So we're going to go up to the height, and we're going to change this to 5. All right. So now we're going to put this through, but I don't want it to go through straight up and down. I want it to go through the side. So I want to make it a challenge. There's another thing we want to work with, and that is our angles. One of the other things you'll see is if there's these little arrows, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one here. If we click on that arrow, we can go up to the top, and we can change the number in degrees. We click 90 degrees, it changes. You can see how we changed it sideways. So now if I click, you can see how I move that around. And once I have that, I'm going to take it and I'm going to slide it into the center. Now we can adjust the height of this by going to this red arrow. All right, and what I mean by height is vertically up and down how far it is. I can take this and I can raise it up, or I can lower it down. Try to get it to about the center. Doesn't have to be quite perfect today. You can use it to spin to make sure it goes through both sides. And then the last thing we're going to do is show you a tool called Group. We're going to click and drag. Now I left click this time and I dragged and it kind of made a hidden line, but it selected both items. Now if I go up here, you'll see there's this tool. I hold over it, it says group. If I put them together, you can see it changes it into one object. It makes the two different objects one object. And now we have a hole that goes through our block. All right. So that's a real simple, basic introduction. Get you involved. That's all we're going to do today. I hope you find this pretty easy. And like I said, we'll be working towards a project, which is a balloon car. You'll see how that works. And I think when we get to 3D print them, depending on when we get back to school or whatever, I think you'll enjoy it. Hope everyone has a great day. See ya.